You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is July 25th, 2023 meeting of LaPorte County Budget Hearings, Part 4. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good afternoon. This is the continuation of the 2024 LaPorte County Council budget hearings. We're going to go back. We're now continuing and moving on to IT. IT is an orange tab. You start off with IT 157. The only I'm looking at this. There is an increase in the 30107 technical and support software support line. If you could just give us a quick update on it, and then we'll be able to.
So that's software maintenance for the different softwares that.
And just the updated pricing.
Yeah, updated pricing.
Okay. In the 100 accounts, there's all sorts of various increases. Is that your own kind of request, or is there?
No, it's step increases.
Step increases.
Computer maintenance, I'm noticing a decrease. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the total budget, not the adopted budget. So
Education, I think I had went up.
No, it's flat, same as before.
15,000.
Okay.
The item that appears to have gone down was the mileage, but then that was an extra appropriation.
special appropriation.
What you
Got
got?
it.
Yeah, the actual budget.
Motion to approve as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any other comments?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
And we have a 2 seconds now. Anyway, hearing no comments, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
We can
you.
move right into Purdue Extension since you're right here, if you would mind.
Motion
Just
to
get-
approve as presented.
Were there any changes?
Only in the.
Come on, girls, you can sit down.
Don't turn around and walk out the door.
We do have questions. At least I know I have one.
Where you got them at?
Okay, it is the next one down, the yellow tab on the left, right after IT. So we have a motion to approve the 200 and 300 accounts. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on those? But please don't leave because I have none there. Okay, I'm going to just talk about the 100 accounts. We have some increases there. Is that because of the new people that have come in or
Step increases.
step increases? Okay, just wanted to be sure what it is and.
Yeah, yep. Oh, you want to?
Oh, and the contractual services
Okay, thank you.
went up too. That was
So we, on the 200, 300 accounts, we have, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any nays? Hearing none?
I
Motion
just, I
carried.
just want to commend, as I did last night, Purdue Extension with Kelsey and the staff that's out there has always been great. So,
Thank you. We appreciate that.
but with
Okay, she said.
yeah, but with the new direction with Kelsey there being the administrator out there, it is like a whole different world. And years ago, they came and they said, "Hey, we got to try and fix the issue out at Purdue Extension." I'm telling you, I've fixed a lot of things, but it was like, oh my God, it was just so many different things. And what a breath of fresh air, though. So we finally got it on track. Everybody's, I got so many compliments at the fair from fair board people, from 4-H people, and everything else that everything is great.
Coming from
Thank you.
public side of it, I see the same thing coming from parents and folks that are working on different committees. I'll see it more of the grumbling sort of thing with some different things that I've been involved with, and they'll just come to me and explain what's going on, and I'm not seeing any of that. So to go
We have a
with
couple people
Randy's-
more. Mr. Yagowski?
Yeah.
Not familiar with, if you read any articles. We're trying to pursue to try to get Purdue University to honor their commitment to PNW and the satellite places, schools that they have. So with that, I know that the assistant chancellor is working with us, and we need to have better communication between all of us, and I think you're part of that group. Matt Reardon has now been hired now. We have Matt Reardon as our economic development. I've always asked that you guys kind of work, because we're gonna look at some ideas that get the Purdue, maybe with the idea of incubator type business set up at Purdue, and we're trying to work with them. So I'd like to see if you can get that group, your economic, I don't know who your economic development person is right now.
That'd be Mary Cominas.
Eric Miz. If we can try to work that out, we're gonna try to see if we can work together with Purdue instead of fighting them right now. So, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Anybody else with a comment before I go?
How did you met Reardon?
One more comment is, going along with what they've already said, is you can literally feel the difference in the air. You walk into it used to be, you walked in here, it was like everybody was on pins and needles and nobody wanted to look you in the eye. Right now, it's like just a totally different environment. I agree with you.
It is.
At 100%.
I also want to say is I'm a complete outsider. 4-H is a foreign thing to me. I found out about 4-H more when I moved out to Indiana, and getting to know and going through going through the building where all of the displays of the kids' work, and then sometimes having the opportunity when they're with their parents and that, where we see them, we can talk to them and find out about how they decided to do this. And then I know some high schoolers that have been doing stuff, and seeing that board, the way you highlight the 10-year student, the 10-year kids, it was just a spotlight this year. And I don't know if you've done all the flags at the top before like that, but that was also another wonderful touch. I wish we could keep it up there year round. Unfortunately, I think you've already heard that can't happen, but no, it was just a great event. And then you can anything, I think the different areas, there's always room for a little bit of improvement in the areas, and it's just so great to see record numbers of people.
Room for improvement.
I'm talking about the facility.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking about
Extension.
not the extension. Well, and then it's always a little bit about the different groups, who's in charge, and even those groups, you're starting hearing better stories. That's all I can say. So that's from the outside. So
Now we can go.
I
Thank you.
I'll call you about something else later.
That's our first
What's that?
wholehearted applause.
Wow, I'm honored.
Yeah, return.
Thank you.
no, we appreciate it. So we're done. So, oh wait, there's that. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong one. No, we're done. I think, unless there's something else that I missed. There's just one sheet. So we appreciate
There
it.
is one thing, thank you.
Whatever.
There is one thing, it's been brought up every year, it's not gonna change anything. When we get to 100 accounts, the raises will be reflected in the county. You're gonna have to go to Purdue University, whatever they negotiate for your administrative pay.
Yep. I figured that one out.
I know, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because people forget sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That was easy. That was easy.
2%.
And you see, been sweating about this for a week, and it was easy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kind of like,
Is there? And there's nobody on.
Let's conduct the business.
Let the record show. Randy chased them out into the hall.
Okay, I gotta go. You guys, thank you.
No, thank you.
Turn your mics off.
Thank you.
You guys have a nice day.
We'll make sure to see Mark. Yell at somebody.
Yell at somebody? Who do you want us to yell at?
You're collecting these books, right?
Who's up?
You're collecting these
Sheriff,
books.
mostly?
Sheriff. Dog. That's a
Use the same booklet next year, and maybe even the same tag.
She's not Vaughn. She's not insisting that you, or what? What are you? Are you insisting they get them back or no? Because Vaughn like wanted them back, and I thought
Good idea, I'll reuse it.
it's a good idea. Okay. Because if they don't want to, is that okay? It's up to the council people.
Is it over? It's not over yet.
No, Earl, don't you need
Don't
a?
you still need it though?
Don't you?
Oh, this is Mark.
Mark, see,
Oh,
maybe.
you don't want yours for?
I'll give it.
Don't you need?
Today.
Don't you need a doorstop?
Yeah.
If you can use the book and the labels, that's wonderful.
No, I don't.
They can return it at the end of the year and you still have it for next year.
I mean, I could put this in a smaller binder. There we go, we cut the supply cost.
That's what we did. The interns emptied out hundreds, I don't even know, and we reused them. That's why you'll see some are taped.
Excellent job. We've already told you that. Ha. Pretty soon I'm gonna start charging you.
Who's next?
Superior Court three.
Judge Thorne.
And then we have,
Colin?
Superior Court three.
Two.
That's pretty close. Might as well. Orange coming in? Stallbrink on, online, or is he coming?
He's coming. Not very.
I knew she here she said that.
Remember, we used to do this 2.5 days, right? Wednesday noon. Huh?
That's what we were done.
I remember when it took 3 days.
Yeah, back in the day, we went 3 days.
Asked me if they could come Wednesday, and I said, oh, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You're gonna get those really, we're still gonna have more days. We have a whole, there's gonna be a whole long conversation.
Well, we never finished it then, even then.
God rest Jefferson, Tennessee.
And just as a note, I am another office that gets along with Tim's office.
Are you the first?
No, Mike Schultz.
Schultz.
Oh, that's right, that was that Bro Fest over there we had going on that.
A little bit gross.
Yeah. Did he say that or did she say that? Usually it is Mike Schultz. Who said that? Him or Stacy?
Stacy did.
I think she did say it this time.
Stacy?
Yes, I think she's being.
No, maybe Mike.
I don't know. He does usually say that though.
Public defender's already checked off, right? Yeah, we've already done that.
That's not saying much because there's.
Did you get an updated sheet? Last night? Last night I gave you an updated sheet. You like that?
For public defender?
You're not getting on
For the
this one.
schedule today?
We don't always agree.
No. It's no problem.
Figured some stuff out yesterday now.
Did you send it to me via email?
No, I passed it out up there last
Which
night.
makes life easier for me.
Probably.
I get it.
I'll give you mine.
No, I've got one. I got Superior Court 3, Superior Court 2, Sheriff. Yeah, this is updated because public defender we already did.
I understand reasoning and
Very logical and great thought.
Hey, gentlemen, would you like to do the county cumulative capital development right now? And then the economic lit?
Let's go.
So we get,
We ready?
thank you.
ready.
Good. So we're coming back and we're gonna look at, county cumulative capital development. Thank you. We're gonna look at county community cumulative capital development, 1135 account. There are two items on here.
May I?
Yes, please.
This, if you remember, when we were in a finance meeting, this is one of the ones that Christy Deckard had said we get a lump sum each year. So for some reason, and I'm not familiar with it at all, but the second one is for the sheriff's office, that 105 object, the 640. But we don't get $1.2 million. So it doesn't make sense to budget 1.2, and I don't know if that one is needed for the sheriff's department, but we get a specific amount or an amount that we don't know of before it's budgeted, is my understanding.
Is CCD a property tax levy? Something makes me think it is.
I believe it is. I'm pretty sure. But for some reason, in the recent years, it's decreased quite a bit. And the previous thought was leaving it at that, because that's what I think we originally had, with hopes that it would, I guess, come back up. But
It looks like last year the levy was set at $758,034. It is, levied by through property taxes. And it looks like we collected 675,000.
just approve it the way it is and leave it go.
We have a suggestion that we approve it the way it is, so we would need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Is
Motion
the
to approve
auditors,
as presented, and do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, conversation?
does the auditor's office like that idea?
Check it next year.
I honestly don't know that it matters. For when I was new, it was hard to understand what was available to spend because it's over budgeted basically. But now that I know how, it works fine.
How does DLGF let us over budget it? Maybe they don't look at it. I don't know.
Just remember the conversation you referred to, that
Well, I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other further discussion?
I'd say we review.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries.
Who's trying to get on? Not somebody we're waiting on, is it?
I don't know. There's two of them now. Since you two want me to let me in them, want me to let them in.
Deborah Leroy, she's last. Yeah, I made the mistake of sending somebody to her instead of Deborah.
Oh.
That fly, whatever. I'm not finding, and I may need help on finding the lit economic development.
Right here. Right, it's the next, right after the last one.
Yeah, there's no tab.
It's one that I handed you separately the first day, so if you added it, it would be the very last
Says
page.
lit economic.
If not, I can make you a copy.
It was last page, maybe, because it didn't have a tab.
It says public safety, but it says lit economic.
And you would have put it in there yourself, so
Hold on,
do
Mike.
you want me to make you a copy?
Gotcha.
I got the public safety right behind it, but the economic development's in with it. Yeah. You see? You got this one?
No. The only
Threw
thing
it
I have
away.
in is
You know what you did?
It was part of the packet I brought in, so only if you put it in there.
I think he swapped it out.
There was one page that I thought was an extra page, and I
Here,
could have
here.
swapped it. No, he's making a copy now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We'll hole punch it the official way. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we now have the economic development lit 11-12, and there was conversation yesterday about this, or about last night, about making sure we have certain things in here. One of the things that we talked about, was, okay, we were thinking of moving the top 100 accounts, forget that, moving to the 200 accounts. I thought we did this yesterday.
Lit economic development?
I thought we did this one yesterday. I'm serious, because I thought we covered it when the highway department was here.
That's kind of what I was thinking
Just
too.
the only thing that you covered was that amount that comes out for this
5
highway
million.
superintendent. Well, the 4,999 and the 5 million were done under highway. That is correct.
No, that's the four,
The very top
there's the
one,
5 million.
well, I guess it was done.
The 499.99,
4,999.
yeah.
And then the 5 million were under highway.
So then we have the 682, which was the tax lien exempt line, and I thought we covered that.
No.
So what are the other items? What's the 137,884? What's the
What page are you
22?
looking at?
I'm looking at lit economic development.
Those are amounts that were probably appropriated this year in that, but they're not, they're all zeros. For 2024, they're all zeros.
So the only thing that we have budgeted right now is the
$499.
is the ones right there, the $499.99, and the 50,000, the 682, and the
The
590.
50 should not come from there.
We did not do the 50 from here.
It was appropriated from there last year, but it should not be appropriated from
So
there.
we're gonna take that off.
Yeah.
So then, I'll do a motion to approve minus the $50,000 overtime for juvenile center.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any conversation? Questions?
It's already there.
All those in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Okay, we got that one covered then. Public safety, we really need to wait on that one. We have everybody in on camera? Yep. Yep. On Zoom. Well, I don't know if we should do last without the court, without the judge. Somebody could take very offended by it.
Superior two.
Okay.
Here come the judge.
Here.
Here come,
No,
sit
the
down,
council come
don't
right
sit
up.
down. Ooh. All rise.
You guys are ready?
Yeah. And really do appreciate seeing you in person.
You took 50 off of ours. Right up there.
Okay, I'm just looking to find my Superior Court 2. Under my Superior Court 2, I have Michigan Township. That's not-
Probably the smallest court budget in the county.
White tab.
Yeah, but look what's under it.
Yeah.
Some intern messed up. I do not have a copy of that. I have Michigan Township Assessor under this tab.
Superior Warren.
Mine if you want.
No, I'll look on his, but if you can make a copy eventually. Okay, so we're now talking about Superior Court number 2 with Judge Stahlbrink. Thank you again. There's no changes on your budget for the 200 and 300 accounts, am I correct?
There's no changes.
What would the council like to do?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Do we have a second? Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by. Next time, throw $1 in there somewhere just to give us something to cut. Something. I'm just kidding.
You guys have enough problems. You don't need me.
Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you.
Are you sure you're talking to the council or?
Judge, nice job.
Yeah.
Judge, nice job at the fair.
Thank you.
They did a fantastic job.
Well, I thank all of you because I got more compliments this year on the fairgrounds and the quality of the buildings and how everything looked. And I always said, thank your council and your commissioners. 'Cause-
I had people go, the pump house, because we painted it.
Yeah.
They go, my God, you guys built a new building? What is that? I go, it's the pump house. I go,
It was invisible before.
we just painted it. They're like,
Notice, and I think we put some paving up there, so
support a new porch. Yeah.
I appreciate
Definitely.
your support because
Keep up the good work.
it went well.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Gosh, if we know it was that easy, we should just quadruple the heat budget.
Right? Yeah.
sorry.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Oh,
I'm Sharon Krasinski. I'm here for Judge Thorne for Superior Court 3.
Excellent.
We have no changes.
Motion to approve it.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you for
It's
coming.
not official till the judge shows up, though.
Are you also doing the
I'll
next
pass
part?
that on.
Yeah.
Pardon
You
me?
also doing lads, or do we have to go to Deborah Leroy on? Thank
Deb
you.
Leroy.
You do go back and tell him that. I just want to see his reaction. I know
I
you'll
think
tell
she may be headed over because she's no longer on.
Thanks, Sharon.
him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please give our best to the judge.
lads in this building.
No, right across the hall.
Okay, across.
They're the one. They're the one. Stupid mics.
What?
Stupid one.
New mics. Mute
New
mics.
Okay.
Mute mics. Mute mics.
Pause it.
Shop.
Be off. Are you off? Yes.
Okay. Who are we waiting on?
Lance.
I muted, yeah.
Sure.
And then we go to Cheryl.
Who are you waiting on?
She was just on and I think she's coming over. I'm guessing that's what.
There's no Wednesday here tonight.
No Wednesday hearing.
No Wednesday, no.
No, we're hopefully be done shortly.
We'll adjourn in your presence. Anne Marie, we're gonna adjourn in your presence.
But in our place, we like waves rolling in. And
Just come right on up.
Come on up to the main chair, girls.
Hello.
Well, thanks for coming over.
Thank you.
Lights are on. Excellent, thank you. We now have in front of us LADS 2502. We now have in front of us LADS 2502, 242. And there are minor changes on this. Let me just double check. No changes on the 200 and 300.
Motion to approve the 2s and 3s.
We have a motion to approve the 2s and 3s and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion carries. Just don't go away yet. There has been discussion where your offices weren't set up appropriately before. Now there's a new plan to move you across the hall. Is that changing how the offices are set up where it makes it any better?
If they can make the door over here
Where it used to
in
be?
where it used to be, so we can have a direct.
Because I heard the
entrance.
door is still in the building.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
And so you're still in you're still in your other location.
Correct. Walking through the clerk's office.
Yeah, yeah, I know. You can get into the front, but then to get to you got to go around
Right.
the clerk's office.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I got updated to where you were because there's been discussion on that in the past, and
The discussion kind of stopped.
Okay.
So yes, there was discussion in the past.
Been officially even told that we're moving by anybody.
No, but they sure made a point to the people that were in that other room to make a point to let them know that you guys are going in there.
But we've never been told.
It was very rude and abrupt the way things were done, so we just let it go at that.
Okay.
And it's not you, and we're not going to go into who's who, but yeah, that's how I found out about how that was the. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, we'll still hopefully find solutions for that. Thank you very much. Appreciate what you do.
Don't pack just yet.
Don't panic just yet?
Don't pack.
Oh.
Just yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you never know.
So we don't have the sheriff.
I guess
We
we're.
got the sheriff and
Did
public
somebody-
safety led. It's the only.
Did somebody contact the sheriff yet?
Yeah, they're doing the sheriff.
You're done.
Oh, we're done. Okay.
Thank you.
It seems too simple. I'm sorry, but
That's okay. I like
at least we didn't say a 50% cut.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna pause again.
Please.
Am I correct that the only thing we got left is sheriffs and public safety led?
That's what I have. And I just sent a text to Al.
He'll be here in 15 minutes at the least, maybe less.
Usually people are coming in coming in a little early.
Make this going as quick though.
Well,
We actually should have scheduled him in Darlene's place because she was gonna be here anyway.
You should have done it while they were here.
Yeah.
No, they need to.
no, we couldn't do when they were here earlier because we had so many extra
What?
things this morning.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something. Did you call the sheriff's department and tell them to hurry up? You know what? Where's that little button? Hit that button. See if they come running in. It's right here.
It used to be.
Right there.
Nope, that's old. That might be new.
I think it works.
That's the doorbell, and then when you really want me to press it.
No.
see who comes over.
Why do we have this box if we don't? Do you guys still have buttons on by your seats?
Everybody's got them in their office, don't they?
Oh, yeah, there's buttons.
That's to go to that.
Yeah.
Look
With
at the
names,
names on that
names of
box.
people who are long gone.
Somebody
I
just
was
hit
in an
one.
RDC meeting and I bumped one of those buttons and I'm like, oh shit, I set off the alarm. And then I realized
Hit
it's
one,
just
hit
that.
one. Push it.
I'm Jeff Santana, according
Look
to
at the
that.
names on that thing, Mike.
Hit it again.
They're ancient.
Yagelski, go for it.
Yeah, the names are.
Is Cora
Whoever
still
put
on
the
there?
stickers on there used good
Yes,
stickers.
so is Grammarosa, so is Kirkham, so is Sullivan, so is Santana.
It's John Sullivan, come on.
I seen him at the fair.
Did you really?
I did not see him at the fair,
Yeah.
but I didn't, I
Does he
don't.
work in the wash house?
He was walking down. Session Road.
This is only a bag.
Something about working a wash.
Oh, John boy.
Unexpected. There's a dark side.
Smile.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, that was fast.
You two can sit in the back. She just needs.
Absolutely, I'll be glad to.
We're right in the middle.
Okay,
We'll bring a chair up there.
we're ready to put mics back on, please. Thank you. Okay, we're now with the Sheriff's Office, Sheriff's 105 account. Is there any comments you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. If you'll go through, you'll see that I have asked for a couple of increases, specifically in the items of uniforms. We're requesting a $10,000 increase to the budget. The cost of uniforms, as with a lot of other things, have gone up over the years, so we are asking for a small increase there. We are asking for a slight increase in our training budget as well, for $10,000. Again, the mandates that are being placed on us every year by state law and state statute and the Supreme Court and everyone else. And obviously, with the cost of everything, training has gone up as well. So we're asking for a slight increase in our training budget. If you go down technical and software support, we're asking for an increase there, and that's our Interact bill, and that's what we've had to come back to earlier this year to pay that bill. So we're asking for an increase in that line item as well. As far as the if you go over on the second page under radio and electronics, our body camera, we have never had a line item for that. We're asking for that to be a line item.
Wait, second page.
No, the sheet I've got from Rhonda is on the second page. I'm sorry.
Lit public.
No, I think he's still on the front page.
Thank you.
It's under radio and electronics, and there should be a note there that says body camera. I see that it says $572,725. We're actually,
We must be missing a second sheet. Sorry,
okay.
can't follow you at the moment.
Our last
It's in there.
sheet is 32.9.
Oh, two more?
I think it's under the proposed public safety lit.
Proposed, okay. I apologize.
Technical and software 24,680, is that the one?
That one,
Electronics 5.
30056.
Well, those are.
yeah, 30056.
Okay, you're way ahead of
Sheets
us.
back. Two
Okay.
sheets back.
Well, it's only this next sheet back on me. Yeah, that's the new, I believe the new line item that we're asking for, and that's for our body cameras. We have to come back every year for that. I see that's got 572,000 there, but yearly we only need about 115,000. So I would ask that, if we could change that from 572 to 115 for our body cameras, I would appreciate that.
To clarify, that's the last installment, correctly, not an ongoing expense?
Well, we've got 2 more installments, and then it'd be time to renew the contract, and I don't know what that's going to look like in the next 2 years.
Okay, so this is something that will be perpetual.
Correct.
In some form.
And is there a storage fee that you guys have with your cameras?
That's all part of
It's all
that.
part of that.
That's all part of
Okay.
that, correct.
Right. So that'll never go away.
Unfortunately, no.
So I have a question because I'm looking at radio repairs on the first sheet, 30022, just below the middle, $17,000, and this year we've not expended a dime. Is it just fluke that we haven't had any repairs so far this year, or?
No, that's something that we always usually wait to the end of the year to make any corrections, adjustments, or anything to. We usually hang on to that to the end of the year, then we just spend it. It'll be spent definitely by the end of the year.
Last year you spent $16,999.
You can't get any closer.
Yeah.
Well, we're not seeing that it was 99 cents too, but.
Same question on firearms training. It says that zero's been expended so far.
Same thing. We'll end up getting that all spent for ammunition and any type of guns that we may need to
They're waiting
replace.
for the holiday sale.
Yeah. If you look, you'll see that in years past, we'll get it all expended before the end of the year. Yeah.
No doubt. I do have a question about some of the 100 accounts. There's some movement in here, some increases in here, and one of them is the salary major. We're going from 71,000 to 100,000, and I just didn't know why such a big increase. Is there's a different person, some step increases, something, or we just
Right. Some of this is because of step increases, but the rest of this are the raises that you guys provided us last year. The major salary before the raises was that amount. With the raises, this
so
is the new amount.
this is a realignment, so to speak, because
Of the raises that were
removed some
provided.
people into, I get it. We're moving people, not just the raise, into public safety lead.
Correct.
Some of that was
Okay.
absorbed by the.
So it's being absorbed. So it's just a.
Well, what you see for 23, the actual budgeted amount did not include that 15%. So that's it.
25.
A total of 25,
25,
yeah. It
So
did not
it's lower
include
than
that.
it is.
So, yeah, it's.
Who's counting?
Who's counting? Amongst friends. Also, gentlemen, just so that the new council members know, when we go to do the salaries this year, there were incentive pay that was omitted in last year's increase that we're going to need to put in this year. It is approximately $78,000.
78 and some change,
Yeah,
correct?
and that, so it's below 80. And the incentive is so that if an officer does certain training, gets certain certifications, they get paid for that it's an incentive for them to get that certification, and encouraging people to move up and learn these additional skills and maintain these skills. So that is what was omitted when we went for a record increase. And so now it's time to put those things back into play because they were there before. So
correct.
That is what that's about.
An incentive pay is for these certain certifications and duties that some of these, it's an industry standard type of thing. A lot of the departments are nationwide has incentive pay. Yeah.
So, and there's another thing I just want to bring to light. I noticed that the salary major is a little higher than the chief deputy.
That's because the chief deputy doesn't get longevity pay and the major does, and he was due for a longevity bump going into the year.
Okay, so there should be some consideration about the chief deputy's salary. We're not looking at doing 85% like we do in other places. We've looked at this. It was really recognized last year when the disparity, when we were looking at the former sheriff and the former chief deputy's salaries were so far apart that we thought there was an inequity in that. But we didn't want to address it on top of a 25% increase. So now may be an opportunity to take a look at that and to have some sort of consideration just for that one line item. And I mention it now only because, we'll get into doing salary adjustments and we don't want to miss these little things that are important to our employees. So, and our workforce. So that's why I bring those up now.
Thank you.
Recommend it to be paid the same, or would you recommend it for the chief?
Microphone.
It's on.
Phone's on. I'm just not leaning in enough. Would you recommend they be paid exactly the same, or would you prefer that the chief deputy have a $500 more?
I think the chief deputy should obviously make more because the major answers to the chief deputy and the responsibilities that he carries.
We're not doing 100s now, but I would suggest that we give a $2,000 raise to the chief deputy and just put him $500 ahead of the.
Yeah, and I might recommend to be even higher. So
Yeah, I'm for the minimum.
I'd like to bring something up just for food of thought, nothing against the sheriff or the chief deputy right now. but I think it's something that needs to be, and I know this sheriff wouldn't do anything about it, and I would hope that no sheriff would, but the sheriff's chief deputy, of course, can be appointed, or is appointed by the chief deputy is appointed by the sheriff. The chief, state statute says the sheriff can appoint anyone he wants. Anyone. It can be somebody without any law enforcement experience. It could be his brother, could be his brother-in-law, could even be his wife. So I think you want to keep that in mind for future. You know, you'll just say that the sheriff came in, got elected, and he wanted to put his wife in that position.
It'd be a fast
salary.
4 years.
It'd be a fast 4 years for that sheriff, probably.
Probably, but it'd probably be a good 4 years for his pocketbook.
Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to bring that up to your attention.
It can always be adjusted.
At the start of their second term, it made no difference anyway, right?
At the second, pardon?
If they did it at the start of their second term, it would have no bearing because he's term limited out.
Right.
Right, if you wanted to do that, true.
Are we
So
allowed
are you saying that we as a county should have something that says if it is approved by the commission and council, we get one salary, if not, it's gonna be a $10,000 salary or $20,000 salary or something? Or do you have an alternative
What?
to the state law option?
No, I don't. However, I just wanted to be brought to your attention due to the fact that, and this sheriff's not gonna do anything like that, but
I love my wife dearly, but I do not want her working with me at all.
and I agree with that. I mean, as far as from experience.
We're gonna bring her on board.
So I might suggest that maybe we find some incentive clause where someone has to have, if someone has a certain certifications, that they would get this additional.
Possibly.
So we may want to think about that as we go through. So we'll have a little bit more thoughts about it, but we really do appreciate that being brought up because
That's all I
that
was
is certainly, we don't want to set a precedence for somebody in the future to create an equity in the situation, so.
And I got one other question pertaining to, Sheriff mentioned training, and I think I asked him this a while back, notice to quit, which is the eviction process where our process servers serve these notices to quit. That's a separate fund. Is that, and I understand that's still being done.
That is correct,
Service. Is it still $35 per paper service?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any idea that now that money is going into continuing education? correct?
Continuing education fund, and with the cost of training that it's gone up, I know that fund has been, I'm not gonna say depleted, but it's been low
Okay, but it's,
because of the cost of
I
the
just want to
training.
make sure it's being utilized and it's, that money's still going into that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's being used.
Okay.
Is there a possibility to raise the 35 or is that set by state law?
That's set by state law.
Thank you.
Hey, does anybody have any further questions or do we have a motion for?
I would recommend that 30107 technical and software support on the page 3 of our folder, public safety lit, that item be moved into the public safety lit.
So the 30107, the increase from the first page, which went from 28,000 to 60,000, you're thinking 32,000 should be moved over to the public safety lit?
That or put the whole thing in there.
Or you're suggesting to put the whole?
Because it's doubling in price.
So,
So,
so we had we have in the potential budget line item, the same account, 24,680. I'm not sure why I understand one is 60,000 and one is 24,680.
that's what the current, well, that's not right.
Operator error.
Okay, so we're looking at, we spent nearly
I
60,000.
believe Interact was, the one that you're seeing on the second page is the appropriation that was given for Interact, so it would not be that complete 60,000 is why, is my guess.
But if we move the entire line item, 30107, there, everything would come with it.
So change the first page to 0 and for us, the third page to 60.
Yeah.
And if there's an inequity, we'll fix it next year. Okay, does that work?
I'm fine with that.
Because anything that we can move the target a little bit each year until we get to where we want to be is a step, I think, forward.
And then a motion to approve the other two as presented, and then the 30107 moved to public safety lit.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. And these are the changes, just to make sure everybody understands. From the very first page, the Sheriff 105, we are removing the amount of 60,000 from 30107 account, technical and software support. There is nothing being changed on what we have on the page that says public safety lit, which is just the 100 accounts. Then we go to the one that says potential budget. We are reducing 30056 radio electronics to 115,000. And then we're putting under the 30107 technical and software, we're putting in the 60,000 on that line item instead of what's sitting there at 24,080. Okay? Any discussion?
Well, I think it's important to point out, at least for the public, like, let's use the example of medical hospitals, 25,000, 23, that's because the safety lit was only good for a quarter. So we're really not raising that, we're just multiplying it out by 4 times. It's from 25 to 100 because we're gonna fund it for a whole year.
616, 115.
I believe that's one that was appropriated at 100, but was divided into 4 payments.
That's what,
Yeah.
because we didn't get the safety lit until the last quarter.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna call a motion, all those approved, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, these budgets have been approved.
And then, thank you. And then do we need to approve the
Public safety lit.
public safety 227 or 1170, 105?
This one, the potential one?
Those are 100s, but then the last.
I thought we were doing them both, we were doing them.
Well, I'm perfectly good with that. We didn't, but.
Oh, I
We
thought
moved
we
it to
did.
the one. That's fine. That's who seconded it?
Me.
You did. You good with that?
Yeah, that's good.
We did them both.
Everybody's
Yep.
good
All
with
right,
it,
we're good.
so. Okay. Let's go to the jail.
Great.
Or not.
Let's not.
Yeah.
We'll take the flight to the paperwork that says jail 145.
Yeah, a couple of increases this year. The first is our food budget. This is something that I know when I was Sheriff Boyd's chief deputy, and I think Councilman Mullenhour, when he was sheriff, that was a regular occurrence that we come back for additional food money every year. I would like to see that increased to help prevent from us having to come back for regular necessity items such as food. We are asking for an increase in that.
I'm gonna interrupt real quick.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I noticed that on our potential public safety lit, we show 596,000 for that 20039 food that we just approved. It's actually under the potential budget for 1170 public safety lit for Sheriff 105.
I'm sorry, I don't have that one in front of me, but
We just approved for 396,000, so we're thinking of moving this back down to the 210 mark.
So, right.
That way you're still getting the same amount, it's just being split.
that's, yeah.
And it's some of it's budgeted out of lit.
Out of lit, okay, yeah.
And what's the total? I didn't have that sheet.
600. Well, no. What is it?
396 was on the potential budget for public
So we
safety
can
lit.
make 204 to make it a full 600.
How are we doing on public safety lit money?
So it's 396 then.
Yes.
We'll
Public
get to
safety lit, we have, wow.
That's ominous.
And while we're on the
Get a
topic,
Karanka wow.
Yeah, right. Right now I'm showing 4.9 million.
so that's fine.
That seems high.
That's good.
That's
No,
okay.
because we were,
That's good.
we'll talk about it in a second, but it's below what I thought it was gonna be.
Right. 4.9 is correct.
Okay, so there's one other item, professional services, which there's an increase of $45,000.
That's our jail medical contract that we.
That's what I wanted to.
Yep. And that's a yearly increase that we've seen every year, and I think it was only a 5% increase going into next year, yeah.
Is that the food vendor also in there, or no? That's
No, food vendor is under the food portion as well, the professional services for the medical contract.
So on the jail, we now have account 20039 at 204, so that the combined is 600,000 between this and the public safety lit. And there's no, That is the only change that we've made in our discussion so far. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second for the 200, 300 counts as revised. All those in favor, please say aye.
Question.
Oh, sure. Before we call.
Pertaining to the food, it's still Kiger, right?
Yes.
Kiger. And what's your opinion on them? How are they doing?
Fair. We're actually looking to maybe make some changes at the end of this year or going in the first of next year.
Okay,
Looking
so
at some
you're gonna
different vendors.
Shop around.
Absolutely.
Good.
Trying to get a bigger bang.
Wanted to hear.
Yeah.
You're not, okay.
Would you mind to restate the change?
Sure. On jail 145, in the middle of the page where it says food for 20039 account, that is going to go to 204000, $204,000.
Because the rest of it's in lit. So it'll still total 6, but. Yeah.
That way we're not duplicating anywhere.
Yep.
Okay, so all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any nays? Motion carries. We have the next page is all 100 accounts. And looks like is that public safety lit, the next one? It just doesn't say it because the title's long. Okay. 14 of 15 employees jail, 1 out of 15 jail corporals, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's our internal keeping. Moving on to county garage.
Again, the only increases that we're looking is to increase our fuel budget every year. Obviously, the gas prices have gone up over the years, and we're just asking that we get an increase to keep up with the increase in the fuel prices over the last several years. Obviously, our fuel budget is dictated on the prices. I believe it was 3 years ago. We didn't have to come back and ask for any additional fuel money because the gas prices were so low.
3 years ago they
were below $2 a gallon. And I believe when I spoke to Councilman Keel the other day, a good guideline is that if gas is $3 a gallon, we're going to spend about $300,000 a year. If gas is $3.50 a gallon, we're going to spend about $350,000 a year, so on and so forth.
We're anticipating it being $4.50 a gallon.
I hope not, but
just ask it.
Just
ask it.
I think that's, if I may, the futures prices. Yeah. The futures prices for crude oil, which I trade personally, are for 2026, 2027, are discounted to the current crude oil prices. So it's more likely that while crude oil prices have gone up the last week or so, and in the near term they may indeed be higher, the market's suggesting stability generally. So personally, I think the 450 is kind of high, but it's the council's call. Obviously, if they go up crazy, he'll need an additional appropriation. But
yeah, and I'm I'd say you're not going to get it if you don't ask. But I would be fine if we wanted to decrease that some.
350 would be a good starting spot.
We have a suggestion for 350. Okay.
Seems reasonable.
It's kind of funny. That's where my thought was as well. So I appreciate that. So we are going to. So is there someone who'd like to make a motion?
Quick question.
Sure.
Is your gas and oil payable out of public safety lit?
I believe we had that discussion last night, and not all of it is. And I've got the other departments that we provide fuel for, and that would be the commissioner's office, hazmat, building maintenance, the building commissioner's office, and then weights and measures. I think the only one that maybe would be able to come out of that would be the hazmat. That would be able to come out of public safety.
Could we say 75% of this 350 come out of public safety would be no problem?
Oh, I think you probably could go 90% of that, and that would be no problem.
Maybe we ought to have the discussion about public safety lit and where we're thinking on that before we jump to switching that fuel over there.
I got a question on fuel. I know you're using the cards, which that's a lot more convenient for the officers and that, and I don't have a problem with that. Is there any kind of rebate that you get from that or anything? Because I know we used to have 2 pumps, one at the east end of town and then one in Hannah.
As far as a rebate, no. The theme of the ideal of going to that card system versus using the 2-pump ideal is that it would save gas in the long run because the officers weren't driving halfway across the county just to get gas. we were wasting gas just to get gas, is now an officer can stop at any Family Express or Speedway service station in the county and get gas at any of those locations. So if an officer lives in Michigan City, he no longer needs to drive all the way into LaPorte to get gas to turn around and go all the way back into Michigan City. He can just stop at any Family Express or even a Speedway gas station and get gas in the Michigan City area. So there's a savings there just in using the gas.
A bit of a savings and a convenience for them. However, are we paying full price per gallon then at the pump?
No, we're paying probably about $1 less than what you're seeing on the marquee after we take taxes and everything off.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll cut that.
So that's comparable then.
350 to.
So that's comparable then to when we were dealing with Rackham. And,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So now there's another suggestion to.
My suggestion would be is just keep that at the 200,000 until we get the lit, and it's not to say that we can't change it, but flag it, and then when we figure out where the public safety lit is, and we get a more accurate number.
Got 1.5 million.
If we can get a more accurate number on what percentage is being used. I mean, we're gonna pay it one way or the other, but.
What's that?
I think we're in agreement that we want to increase the appropriation for fuel so that you're not coming back for half of the amount of fuel you need each year.
Right. We do believe there's an extra $1.5 million, that there's 7.2.
We
used a little bit of that, haven't we?
we will when we get to it. Yeah, I think we could use a little bit more of it, but not much more. So if we want to go to 200,000 and move the difference with the public safety,
We would only make the, I'm sorry, I apologize. We would only make the point as the auditor's office that ultimately, to the degree, and you may have a different philosophy, but the degree that you use up public safety lit for public safety purposes, it ultimately frees up more in the general fund. But you may feel that if you're using public safety lit for things that were going to be spent on anyway, there's a moral obligation to spend it on new items for public safety. I don't know what your attitude is in that regard.
Yes, and the concern is that we don't have for those items, and also we're trying to be considerate of what we do in the general, any increases we do in the general before we get to salary discussions can affect what increases we can do in salaries. So
there's a motion.
So there's a motion out there for 350, but
I'm fine with that. If that's what everybody wants to do, I'm good.
Or do we want to lower it to 200? We'll leave the motion as is, and then
we can
any
always
further
review
discussion?
it. If we run short somewhere, we can always review it. Here, or I'll come back.
Earl, you were the original on the motion? Am I correct?
I'm flexible. It's not like set goal. I'm trying to move us along here.
It makes no difference. If we leave the 350 motion on the table and we find out we're short somewhere and we need to cut something, we can always come back and make that adjustment. Same token, if we left it at, put it at 200, we can always come back and increase it. But
Let's leave it at
we just
350
need
in
to
general.
Leave it at 350 and we know what's in there. And
Okay, so that was what the motion, there was a second.
yeah.
So therefore, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion, any nays? Motion carries. Okay, we go to courthouse security, 182 account.
We're not asking for any increases in this area this year.
Motion to approve the 200 and 300 accounts for the courthouse security 182.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, any discussion?
What about the cameras? Those come out of here?
A second.
Out of here, no, we'll usually use commissary money or something to pay for the cameras.
I like that. I like that.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. We now have public safety lit for the courthouse. Those are all 100 accounts. There's nothing to be discussed there.
Good questions.
Sir? Yes.
On warrant service, tax warrant service, how much is that bringing in? That's still going to the pensions, correct? The pension fund?
The tax warrant service?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, not as far as I know. The tax warrant service should be just going to the general fund, because the council several years ago decided that they were gonna pay the pension obligation or the actuary up front at the beginning of the year, and all the other money that we were collecting, such as the tax warrant stuff, was getting dumped into the general fund.
Yep.
Okay, but do you know how much that's bringing in?
top of my head, I don't know that exact number right now. Yeah.
And you probably know it. Could
She doesn't know right off either, but.
And last question, commissary account, how much money is in that right now?
I think the last I was told it was about $150,000 in the commissary account. We still have the, I believe, the outstanding bill to move the generator from the 8th Street building over to the county garage, and that was about $40,000.
Okay. And then you mentioned cameras with, okay.
Yep.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're gonna go on to our last item,
Thank
the
you.
public safety lit.
Coffee and food as well.
Yes.
Yes, much appreciated.
It's quite a support staff you bring with you there, Joe, just want to say.
Intimidating.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the intimidation factor there, Sheriff.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
so
public safety.
last but not least,
So now the problem is we gotta make sure we have all the changes into this public safety lit.
so what I have right now for lit spent, and that includes anything that comes out of, requested for the 100s, $4,047,057.
That includes the requested 100s?
No. Would it?
No, that includes the requested one, and I think I misspoke here. 6,047,005.
Recording stopped.
So that's with the requested 100s and.
I don't think you need to.
We're on the record, right?
Yeah, we're on the record on this, so you can put it back on.
Does it include?
But thank you for thinking of it.
What we're already spending?
Recording in progress.
So that's total out of.
We're still on.
8 million.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Right now I have.
We got ambulances and cards and a bunch of other.
Well, and there's one.
You don't have those.
What is it?
Ambulances.
No ambulances and cars we didn't vote on this morning, so no, I did not include that.
But I mean, they're in there.
So that explains the difference between your number and what's on this public safety lit
Things that
1170
committed
number that Rhonda came with.
we've committed to
Yeah.
that aren't on there. Yeah.
I'm sorry, in general theory, it's kind of like the ARP money, where we'd much rather spend the restricted money first, because you get more flexibility the other. It's the same thing with the lit money. We know there's no restriction on general fund. There is a restriction on what we can spend the lit money on, so we need to spend the lit money. We don't want to have a bunch of money sitting in the lit fund.
True.
So now, to the other side of the coin, 52,371,928 from the general spent. That includes 100s.
Without any increases.
Without any increase.
Are you including the numbers that they gave us? Because some people gave us some
That includes the 100
extra
that they gave
people.
us. Yep. So that there's room to move, but
Because we did not
approve 100s.
we did not approve 100s, but using the 100s like from facilities.
Yes.
That what we approved, not what they requested.
100s that they requested plus the 200s and 300s we approved. That's where 52 million comes from.
But we never approved those additional people.
Correct. This is just where I'm showing the number where we're at right now. It's not a real number.
Okay.
Right?
Does that include the lit numbers? In that 52, or that's just general?
That's with when we move stuff out of general to lit. That's accounted for in these two numbers.
And it's worth noting that last year's approved budget number was 52.4 million.
Oh.
And that was running a budget deficit. A considerable budget deficit.
Well, I also think you have a lot of fluff in there from facilities because I don't know about anybody else about approving 10 people, so.
But we didn't, we approved the
He's
23
got those numbers in there, he told me.
Don't you have,
No,
you have the,
he's saying it's in there, you gotta take that into consideration. He put in what they were, so
what the requests were or what we approved?
What I
We didn't,
100s.
he took what they requested.
because the
Okay.
100s haven't been voted on, so he hasn't been, but.
But I didn't take them out. I didn't
Right.
add any extra.
My recommendation on the public safety lit is that we continue this for the next, because obviously we're gonna have some budget meetings prior to our council meeting, and we continue to look at this and see, because tweak it instead of going, this is it today.
Agreed.
Well, I just want to make two notations on this, okay? So if we go towards the bottom of the page, The 30056, the radio electronics, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 up from the bottom.
Yep.
We've already agreed that that's only 115,000.
Correct.
So I want to make sure everybody notes that. Also, in adult probation, for some reason, I wrote on this page, and I'll have to go back to adult probation, but there was 158,375 that we were going to move to.
Correct. Into here.
Into here. So those are the two adjustments that I know of.
Also,
Yes.
I do have a couple more. Will you look at community corrections? The, what is this?
At the
One,
budget
two,
or the-
three- Yeah, their budget, the fourth white tab in from the top. Their lease agreements. I believe, if I marked it correctly, we approved the 183,000, but I also have it marked on public safety lit, so deciding which one you want that to come out of,
Lease agreement.
if we didn't already.
It's clear.
That was 200,000.
For the tracking devices?
Lease agreements,
Tracking devices. That
Yeah.
that would be lit.
so take it off of their community
That
corrections
would be
budget.
added to that last
It is
page.
it is on there already, that's why I wanted to make
Okay,
sure, but
yeah.
it's 200,000 on there, 30083, the fifth from the bottom.
Oh, can't be on both.
Correct,
Taking
that's
it
why I
off-
wanna
she's
make
taking
sure
it
where
off
you
of
want
that.
it.
She's taking off of theirs, but and you said it's on here.
Already on here.
As 200,000,
Oh,
is
see
that
it.
what you
Now I
want?
see it.
Could you do me a favor? Next, when we meet again, this lit page,
Make
print it out like the other ones and just put page 1, 2, or 3. Can you do that?
Yeah, probably.
This is, they don't work as good as I can, you know.
It's not an issue for
I'm
me.
looking at Earl's.
It's just-
I can read yours
It's
just
because of
fine.
the size, yeah.
Well,
The other one that I have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 from the top, I believe, 10137. Were we putting the prosecutor investigator on lit public safety? Or was that staying on their budget?
With public safety, I think, for that, right?
isn't that what we said?
The investigator, yes, we did agree to move it to.
Right, we did it with the intent that this doesn't mean you can go out and hire another employee. This person's just coming out of here.
Yes, and it has to be, the only person that could be here is the investigator.
Correct.
So
And
let's
then I
add-
have 30141, 3 from the bottom. We marked that to 0 and I wrote void next to it.
Will maintenance contracts roll over?
Who was that for?
You know what? 177. I should have these memorized, but I don't.
E911?
No.
Well, that's what
Yes,
177
actually it is. 170. Yeah, that is.
No, what he does is he doesn't have.
Oh, yeah, because remember he said that was appropriated, that shouldn't have been on there.
Yes, thank you.
That's what
Yeah.
it was.
So 0 on that one.
Right, you sound
The radio and electronics changed to 115.
50,000.
Let me go to the 2.
And then what else did you have written on there?
I had the adult probation of 158,573.
It's up here, yeah. Sorry, no.
Is it already on here?
Which one is that?
No,
What
adult-
number?
Adult
No,
probation?
I wrote it at
Two
the
people.
top. It's not on
Yeah.
there right now.
Okay,
The original 2 are, but not those other 2.
okay.
I think for, just as an interjection, I think for public appearance purposes, if you approved a 1% tax increase for a public safety lit, it's obvious, the council needs to decide. You probably want to be able to have, requests be made where you still have something left in public safety lit, even though, as Earl points out, it's best to just have the flexibility of having the general. I think that, there's a question of public impression. If everything's, we could max out the budget on public safety lit, but you probably want to be able to have some type of additional appropriations if someone comes for something, since they're high visibility, where you can take it out of public safety lit as opposed to, well, we have nothing there, we'll take it from the general.
And for what it's worth, we should make sure that we have a little bit of a buffer because we don't have the approved, revenue for public safety lit for next year yet. That won't become available till what, like November? So we're just guessing what the forecast increase is for next year.
Well, and we
We
should,
don't want to spend it down to the dollar.
it would be nice to build up a little reserve in there, as you stated, for some capital, if we ever have
Well,
to.
we don't have the vehicles for the sheriff's office in here.
Or the ambulances.
We do have the ambulances in here at 618,000.
Tahoe and Tahoe.
Yeah, but
Tahoe
we
and
also,
2
but we
ambulances.
don't have the EMA vehicle, we don't, so there are other things that could come into play into this.
What was the other vehicle, sheriffs, you said?
Sheriff's vehicles are not in here. And though he's been good at reducing the number he's purchasing, but.
God, I gotta talk to Mark about that. So my motion would be that we carry over the public safety lit 1170 to our next budget hearing and continue.
There is one more change, I believe, too, if you don't mind me interrupting. 30107, 4 from the bottom for the sheriff. That was the, that was
Yes,
just
that
the
changed to
intro
60,000.
That is 60 now. Good catch.
out of lit, correct?
Right.
Well, and then there was the 204 and 396 for the jail.
396 is here.
396. Oh, that's right. We had,
It's on the, it's 5 up from, well, 4 up
correct.
from the
And it was
115.
corrected from 600 to 204 in the
Yeah.
general. All right.
They gave us a lot of flexibility in the general.
Yeah.
It's almost a 1% pay increase.
Do you mind repeating that one just so I make sure I have it?
So
We already did that. That was,
The radio electronics,
no, there was the
it
food.
had to do with food, which was already done.
396.
You don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I have it marked. Thank you.
Nope, no problem.
So I made a motion.
I'll second the motion.
86 or 399.
At 396 on that line. I know it's hard to read, but that's what it is.
Okay, oh, I see it.
Got it? Okay, so we have a motion and a
It's
second.
39 and the dollar amount's 36.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we have a motion and a second to table this, I get
No,
it?
not table it, just carry it over.
Just to carry it over,
Yeah.
so that we can complete it
Right.
at the next budget hearing.
Yep.
Make it bigger.
Any discussion? All in
Yes,
favor?
discussion. Oh, no, we can vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, we are carrying this over.
My question, Mr. Stabos, what is your estimate for the lit?
We had 8.7.
8.2?
We had 8.7. I'm trying to think where we got that number from.
We need flexibility.
8.7 for next year.
I would suggest,
Flexibility each year because
I would suggest that we give some thought to trying to retain about 10%
Sheriff's needs money that we gave them.
over at least 870,000. Is that reasonable, guys?
I don't know. Yeah, I think that's in line with.
I think that's
my
reasonable.
goal, for this year's.
their retention rate. I'm sorry.
600K.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be that he's projecting 8.7 million. I would say we set kind of a table that we would like to hold over about 10% of that,
I
870,000.
think we'd like to hold more.
And that's fine.
I
but
think that
would-
number might be high. I apologize. I think the increase in non-farm income is probably more like 5%. So it might be the 8 point. What are we getting currently? 7.8.
Keep in mind that that increase that's used for the maximum levy growth quotient, that 4 or 5 years rolling average of non-farm personal
I'm not
income
looking at
is
that.
not the same as what's being used to calculate the increase.
I know that. It's a ballpark, but it's a ballpark based upon an estimated increase. It's a reasonable figure to use.
Yes.
It's a reasonable figure to use. It's not a rigid figure.
Sure.
But 5% of about 8 million is only 400,000. It might be 8.2 or 8.3 million.
Okay, and then if it's 8.2, then we should hold 820,000.
But again, at least.
Yeah, 10%,
At least. I mean, it'd
exactly.
be nice to hold more,
Hold more, that's fine, but
I will ask the LGF.
I think it's a very good point that we not spend it all, and then the taxpayers say, well, sure enough, they're gonna raise it again. That's exactly the
Yeah,
option.
well, I hear what you said, yeah.
We'll find out from the LGF how early we can know that figure.
The next thing is, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to suspend the meeting until our next meeting.
Do we have a motion to suspend the hearing? Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Hey,
Hey. Nay.
we're having so much fun, don't you guys wanna stay?
That must have been an awful good massage.
It's delusional.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Recording.
Close everything.
Yeah.